Hi, how are you? Welcome again into this episode. In this episode, k.c.se paper 101 stock 03 is of course a study guide to Doll's House by Henrik Ibsen. This time around we are looking into Act 3 summary. Previously, we successfully talked of Act 2, then Act 1. We start with Act 1 and Act 2 in that order. Before we continue, I would amply request that you need to liaise yourself with Act 1 and Act 2 as we are progressively progressing with these analyses. So therefore, Act 3. Act 3 summary. In this extract, it is revealed that Krogstad had years earlier been in love with Mrs. Linde. At the beginning of this act, they agree to marry, and Krogstad offers to retrieve his letter from Torvald. However, Mrs. Linde disagrees and thinks that it is time that Nora is forced to confront the dishonesty in her marriage. After the party, the Helmers return home and Torvald opens the letter from Krogstad. While Torvald reads it in his study, Nora pictures herself as dead, having committed suicide by drowning in the icy river. Torvald interprets her fantasy by demanding that she explains her deception. However, he refuses to listen and is only concerned with the damage to his own reputation. Torvald's focus on his own life and his lack of appreciation for the suffering undergone by Nora served to open her eyes to her husband's selfishness. She had been expecting Torvald to rescue her and protect her, and instead, he only condemns her and insists that she is not fit to be a mother to their children. At that moment, another letter arrives from Krogstad, telling the Helmers that he will not take legal action against Nora. Torvald is immediately excited and is willing to forget the entire episode. But having seen her husband revealed as self-centered, egoistic, and hypocritical, Nora tells him that she can no longer live as a doll and expresses her intention to leave the house immediately. Torvald begs her to stay, but the play ends with Nora leaving the house, her husband, and her children. The analysis to Act 3. Here in Act 3, Mrs. Linde radically disrupts the course of events in the play. While it would have been easier for her to ask Krogstad to get his letter back, thereby ensuring that life between the Helmers went on as normal, Mrs. Linde's belief is honesty triumphs over her promise to Nora. This finally benefits Nora, as Torvald's behavior, when he reads the letter, allows her to see the reality of her situation and that she no longer wants to remain in her marriage. In this act, Torvald is thinking of Nora far more as possession than he can display in order to impress other people than a real person with her own thoughts and feelings. To him, Nora was at the party merely to perform for the enjoyment of him and others, not to have a good time herself. Nora's bitterness towards Mrs. Linde because she did not get Krogstad retrieve the letter shows that she has cut herself off even from her close friends in her obsession with the secret of the debt. All the hope and innocence seems to have drained out of her, and she has become a much more serious, grave person. In his speech rather, we see that Torvald's love and desire for Nora is revealed to be cosmetic, rather than an appreciation for whom she truly is as a person. He talks about his sexual desires for her with no consideration of whether she's feeling the same way now. Indeed, when she tells him that she doesn't want to be with him that night, he dismisses her feelings by saying she must be playing a game. In reminding her that he is her husband, Torvald is suggesting that their marriage means Nora does not have the right to refuse sex with him, a commonly held belief at the time. Nora is preparing to kill herself. Perhaps the ultimate symbol of self-sacrifice. Her whispering murmurs on the stage suggest that she is becoming mad. Throughout this whole section of the play, Torvald only thinks of himself and doesn't pause to consider the way Nora has been and will be affected by Krogstad's threats, or that Nora did what she did purely out of love for him. Nora has evidently undergone a transformation both visually and in the way she speaks to Torvald. For the first time, She's addressing him as an equal and demanding that he treats her with respect by listening and not interrupting. Finally, Nora conducts what can be considered as an official divorce ceremony. Although Torvald doesn't want her to go, the fact that he agrees to give her his ring and Noto right or try to help her show that he finally respects her wishes and ability to make decisions for herself. Good students, this would also mark the end of this particular episode, and as usual, subscribe for the future updates so that you stay updated. And again, if you've not gone through the previous work, I would prefer amply that you go through that one so that you put your work in order. And above all, I wish you the very best in your exams.